property today. We had a truck camera up and we got some pretty good info back that there's quite a few bucks using that property. We've kind of seen that last year with all the sign we've seen probably 3 weeks later than it is right now. Late last part of October, first part of November, I went down and scouted it before rifle season, and there was tons of rubs and scrapes down there, so we thought there was quite a few bucks using it. Those trail camera pics we got earlier, those bucks in velvet, kind of showed that, and then these last trail camera pics we got show that there's some deer using it. So we kind of got a front moving through. It's going to get really cold, kind of starting tomorrow, and going into Friday it's supposed to get down to like 39 for a high. So probably chance of snow out west here in western Nebraska. So that front moving through, things are starting to pick up. Definitely seeing more deer out moving around compared to those 90-degree days we were having before. So gonna go down to the rifle property like I mentioned. Gonna go after those bucks in an area that we think that they're bedding, because there's not too many places they can bed on. Once we get down there, I'll show you a little bit more and talk a little bit more about where we're going and why we're going there. So we made it down here, and as you can tell, I'm gonna be sitting on the ground tonight. Got the ghillie suit. I can't remember from being down here before if there's ever a tree in that spot that's big enough to get the tree saddle in. So I think for tonight, I'm gonna go in. I have to sneak in and be real careful because we're headed back to a draw where we think the deer and the buck specifically are bedded, but it's kind of a really tight draw. So we have to be able to get in, real slow, real quiet. We got quite a pretty decent breeze, 20-25 miles an hour, so that's going to help our noise. With the ghillie suit on, should break up my outline sitting on the ground. I'm planning on going real slow, using the binoculars, glassing, looking for trails, kind of using trees to my advantage to kind of block where I think they're bedded so I can get up in there. Hopefully just sneak up under a cedar tree on the back side of the draw, sneak through the cedar, get on the front side of it and be able to look down into the draw. And then tomorrow, if it's not raining too bad, it shouldn't be, I'm going to come down. If there is a spot for a tree saddle, then I'll get in the tree and use what I learned today as far as if that tree is going to work, if I need to move or whatever. So the plan now is got to walk in. Once we get close, I'll show you kind of where we're going and then how we're going to get there. But it's just a really small draw in the middle, kind of got some cedar trees in it in the middle of the soybeans on one side, corn on the other. So that's where we think the bucks are coming from. It's one of the spots, so we're going to hunt it and then either know that's where they're coming from or be able to eliminate that spot and then hunt somewhere else. So I'm going to head in now, and pretty pumped, pretty excited. Hopefully it's a good spot. Hopefully we see a shooter buck. I don't know if we've seen really a shooter buck all year. We've seen a few small ones here as of late, and it just keeps seeing more and more bucks as we go here, but we need to really see a shooter. So hopefully he's in there. Hopefully we at least see him. On the other side of this hill is that draw we're going to try to get to. We're more out in the open than I thought, and up on a hill. If I walk across this top, I'm going to have to go back through here and hit that kind of grassy spot and walk that to a spot where we can get and sneak across. We're going to have to walk across some beans real slow. Try to be as quiet as we can. They're getting dry, so it's actually easier to walk than when they're full grain and really thick. But we'll see what sign is over there too. So we're going to have to walk back here. We'll start sneaking across. Alright, I'm trying to find a good way in, and how this draw sets up, there's no good way in. We either have to walk right by a big clump of trees where I think they're bedded, or we're up on this hill. So the best thing we can do is get in this draw that's down in front of me and try to walk that over. Hopefully it's a little bit quieter. But there's a trail running straight out of these trees. A bunch of decent sized tracks on them. So we gotta drop into this draw, then sneak over and hopefully find a good spot to sit. Getting closer now, so we're gonna go real slow, real quiet, trying to find a spot where we can see down this draw pretty good. Look for fresh sign. If there's any trails leading out, we'll probably just set up over those. There's actually a spot up on the hill where we can do a pretty good observation sit over the whole thing. So I don't know if that's a better plan than getting in tight, but I feel like it's so thick in there we have to get tight to probably even see him for any length of time. So I guess we're just gonna go for it. We're gonna get in tight and see what we see. Well, made it into, I think, where I'm going to sit for tonight. We're right on the property boundary, like the fence goes right here, so he's going to have to cross here in front of me. But more than anything. It's just to see kind of where they're coming from. We'll work from here tonight. I can see a buck just standing up and working his way down this draw, but just because you can see it doesn't mean it's going to happen. So, like I said, sit up here, get everything worked out, and we'll be good to go. This spot just this draw just runs straight pretty much east and west. Soybean field back here, cornfield up top, kind of this in-between area, transition habitat area. So we're thinking they might be bedded in here. If they're bedded in the corn, they might use this to access out, to walk to wherever they're going. So based on what we have on camera, we think they're coming from this way, and that's all we're doing on this spot because it's so ag field based. Only a small creek right there, right there. Doe up and moving, kind of like I mentioned. That's why we're just trying to bounce around to the spots, because it's so ag field based. There's only a few spots they can be bedded, and so we think this draw is probably the best spot. So that's the starting point. We're gonna hunt this, see if that's where those bucks are bedded, see if we can't see them and get a better idea of how they're moving, and then we'll just bounce around to those other spots if we need to. So this cool weather, they should be up and moving. If there's anything back here, we should be able to see them, in theory anyways, with this cold weather. It's only get colder tomorrow, so it should be good. Already seen a doe, so that's got my hopes up.
pretty much the cedar tree that the camera's on, the camera base is attached to, that's where the fence runs. Everything on that side is private. That's where the buck came from, was that private trot we were sitting over. He stood out there and ate at like 10 yards, just waiting for him to cross right here. There's a brushy area up there, and he pretty much has to cross right here at 10 yards. I didn't know if he was going to. He was headed that way. And then he started walking, and I'm like, holy crap, this is actually going to happen. Like, he doesn't know I'm here at all. He got to the fence line, and he was right on it, about as close as he could get without being on public. He kind of stopped because he hit that brush. There's no way through. There's stickers and a bunch of other crap back here. There's no way through around this way. But he stopped. Decided to go around that big brushy area. So I think he's still headed that way. So I never seen him come back along the other side or heard him. So close. We seen him 10 yards. Man, that was fun. The evening's winding down now. I'm gonna wait for it to get dark. Hopefully sneak out of here without bumping anything. That would be great, because then we were 10 yards and 3 yards from a bunch of deer. Nothing knew we were here. If we can get out, it's about as good as they can get, short of being able to shoot that one, and we were so close. So, like I said, we'll wait for dark. We'll walk out of here.